Welcome back, guys, to the Robot Master Weapons only run of Mega Man 4 for the NES. We are now getting ready to start the Fortress stages, Dr. Kozak's Fortress. I like the little lightning effect that happens before it plays the little Fortress pre-stage music. Kind of a neat little effect, I suppose. The first stage here has some snow. There's an energy tank hidden to the left in the snow, but we don't need it, so I'm not really going to get it. We'll use Drill Bomb throughout here. We got these weird slinky enemies. You'd think that you would have seen those enemies throughout like Ringman stage, but nope, you never see such an enemy. But whatever, it's kind of odd that they just now make their debut in this game, but whatever, I suppose. We'll use Rain Flush on this next screen. Takes out these two mono rotors. There we go. And over here to this ladder, and up we go. We got a lot of Skeleton Joes throughout this area, so we'll use Pharaoh Shot. I like how the first stage is all slippery and everything. It's pretty cool. I also like the way you can see different buildings and stuff in the background. That's pretty neat. We got a large weapon capsule coming right up here directly. We'll just give that to Pharaoh Shot. There we go, and just keep on moving. Get the Skeleton Joe from right here. We have a few forced rush usage areas coming right up. We have to use Rush Coil 3 times. It's kind of nice to let him get some screen time, though. He doesn't get much, and we don't see Mega Man in the red and white suit very much. I like how it starts snowing the deeper you get into the stage. We got two more large weapon capsules coming right up. We'll give one to Rain Flush and the other to probably Drill Bomb. Since Flash Stopper can't kill any bosses at all, we'll be using that quite a bit throughout some of these stages. Since that's really the only times we'll ever get any use out of it is throughout the stages. So I'll go ahead and use it to bypass the jump big up there right before the boss doors. There we go, and up we go. I like Dr. Kozak's little emblem or whatever, his little signature. I like how in most Mega Mans, most of the time, if you pay attention to the emblems or whatever right above the boss doors, the color palette of the emblem kind of gives you a hint at what the weakness of the boss will be. So that's pretty cool. I'm not even really sure what this thing is supposed to be. It always looked like a face to me with a chin that destroys the floor. A lot of people seem to call it a moth, though. Like a big bug or something. I don't even know. It just always looked like a face to me with a giant chin that destroys the floor. Kind of a weird boss, but whatever. Interesting that it can destroy the floor and make endless pits and whatnot. Here we are getting ready to go to Dr. Kozak's stage 2. We'll have a little bit of forced rush in this area as well, this stage. But that's no problem. We'll be using Rush Jet a little bit. But we'll get to that whenever we get to that. I'd recommend taking the ladder on the right here at the beginning of this stage. There will be quite a few large weapon capsules throughout the beginning of this stage. Just give them to whatever weapons you think are going to use the most. Never ever give any of your weapon capsules to any of Rush's transformations. Completely ignore Rush because you won't be using him enough to run out of any of it. So just always give your weapon energy to one of your weapons that you would attack with. We can get a little ways into this area without using Rush. We can get to this platform, and now we have to use Rush the rest of the way. We'll just give the weapon capsules to our other weapons. There we go. Now all of our main weapons are full on energy. Only Rush is missing any energy, and like I said, just don't even worry about giving him any. You won't use him anywhere near enough to completely run out. We still have a little bit of forced rush use throughout this level. We'll just stay equipped with Rush Coil because I like being in the red and white suit some. I think that these little platforms are pretty cool. The little spikes that switch sides. They're not instant kill or anything, but still an interesting little platforming element. We'll lure this bat over here. I like how you can see outside. You can see the snow and everything. It's pretty cool. You can't get that weapon energy because it forces even more rush use, so you just have to ignore it. Dust Crusher makes a pretty good weapon throughout this area. I always like Dust Crusher. I feel like it's a really underrated weapon, and really it's a pretty good one. We don't have too much more left before we're at the end of this stage. Just kill off these enemies and give the large weapon capsule to Dust Crusher, which is the boss's weakness as well. If you want that energy tank, go over there and use Drill Bomb on the barrier to destroy it. And here we are at the boss of Kozak Stage 2, which is a pretty interesting boss, I think, anyway. I like it a lot. It's like a little room that comes together and you have to hop up and get inside of it as it starts to come together. It's a pretty interesting boss. Its weakness is the little core at the top. There will be 2 platforms on the left and right sides. You have to use those to get up to hit the core. Pretty cool little boss. Pretty interesting. I always enjoy fighting it. He can go at 3 different speeds. He can go really fast, he can go at like a medium type pace, or he can go really slow. Whenever he goes pretty slow, that's whenever you know that the room is finally going to come together and you're going to have to get ready to attack. But really, this boss isn't hard, but it is a really interesting and innovative boss in my opinion. Fighting a little room that comes together. He only has 1 more hit and then he'll be down and out. There we go. Kozak Stage 2 is now down and out. I really like the music that plays throughout Dr. Kozak Stages 3 and 4. It's a really good song in my opinion, and one of the most memorable from Mega Man 4, and like I said, in my opinion. For the most part, Dr. Kozak Stage 3 is an auto-scrolling stage. It does all the scrolling without you doing anything. There are a couple of screens that don't do that though, but over 90% of the stage is auto-scrolling. But really, it's not all that hard, you just gotta keep up with it. Since Dust Crusher is the only weapon that's missing any energy, we'll just use that for a little while. There's some large weapon capsules here at the start of the stage coming up pretty shortly, so yeah, we'll just give those to Dust Crusher. You can't do anything to destroy the things that are circling around the platform, so just avoid them the best you can. I like how you can see the top part of the fortress in the background of this stage. Shows that you're up and above it and everything in the clouds and whatnot. For some reason I always like getting up here on top of this, don't know why. Gotta do a little bit of dancing. You always gotta do that in Mega Man. Great music. They're giving us even more weapon energy. There we go. We're just about done with the first auto-scrolling segment here in this stage. We'll use Flash Stopper to freeze the jump big and get past it. There we go. Got it all ready and everything. Just wait for him to jump high and then we'll freeze him. There we go. I think that we'll give Dive Missile some screen time now. Dive Missile makes a pretty good buster replacement throughout the 2 fortresses and whatnot. It's not really any boss's weakness or anything, except for the rematch against Drill Man. So long as you keep some weapon energy in it for that, then you'll be just fine. So long as you can put up with how it can sometimes be a re-re and chase several enemies with 1 missile. Like if there are several enemies on the screen at once and you shoot 1 missile, sometimes it'll start charging for 1 enemy and then it'll change course midway to that enemy, like it changed its mind. But it doesn't really do it that often. Overall, I do like Dive Missile a lot. It is a pretty good weapon, and you'll see me use it quite a bit. We're not too much further from the end of this stage. I like the boss of this stage. It's actually like 2 bosses in one. They're like these 2 spider-type creatures that crawl around the room on the floor, walls, and ceiling and everything and shoot at you. You fight a pretty weak one at first, and then after you've destroyed it, after the boss's health is halfway down, a stronger version of that same enemy comes out, but he's not really that hard either. I'd recommend using Pharaoh Shot to destroy them. I like doing this, jumping through the boss gate and then Mega Man runs in midair. Kinda neat. I'd recommend using Pharaoh Shot on this boss. I'd recommend charging it up, jumping to let the fireball above your head hit them, and then firing your free charge shot. 6 damage real quick like that. Works really well. Like I said, this is a pretty interesting boss. Mega Man 4 has some of the best fortress bosses in my opinion. Not necessarily the hardest ones, but really neat ones, I think. And there we go. Dr. Kozak Stage 3 is now down and out. Dr. Kozak Stage 4 is also a pretty fun stage. It has a couple of path splits, which will be forced to take the path that I usually never take, so that'll be pretty cool. At the very beginning of the stage, there will be 2 giant weapon capsules for you to get, assuming that you can get them both, because there's always a chance that you might mess up and only get 1. We'll try to get both of them, though, of course. And here we go. Time for Dr. Kozak Stage 3. I like the little moon in the background, the stars and everything. It's pretty cool. Go ahead and give this first one to Pharaoh Shot. There we go. Give the next one to Flash Stopper. There we go. And down here we'll just use Rain Flush. Rain Flush is really good for taking out these enemies. There we go. We'll just use Drill Bomb for a little while. It takes out the jump bigs really quick. We're getting ready to come up to the area with the path split. We'll go ahead and get Rain Flush ready to take out the bats on the next screen. Normally I'd use the wire adapter to get up to that barrier, destroy it, and take the lower path, but since we can't use the wire adapter or any other type of adapter, we have to take the upper path, which I don't mind. We'll use Skull Barrier some throughout here. It hasn't had any screen time here in the fortresses yet. It does a pretty good job throughout here. One thing that I love doing with Drill Bomb is killing shield attackers from the front. That's always fun to do. If you can time detonating it correctly, you can destroy them from the front. We'll go ahead and give that to Rain Flush. There we go. And I'll try to show the shield attacker trick real quick. There we go. I love doing that, destroying the shield attackers from the front, humiliating them. It's always a lot of fun to do, in my opinion. We're not too much further from the end of the stage. I really like both of the Kozak stage musics, the music for the first and second stages and the third and fourth stages. Really good musics in my opinion. We are just about to Dr. Kozak, right through these doors over here. I'd recommend using Dust Crusher on Dr. Kozak. It's against the Kozak's honor to attack a robot that's sliding, so long as you slide, Dr. Kozak will pretty much just sit still, so let's get this battle started. After you hit him a few times, he'll come down here. Just lure him over here, slide over to where he was, and just keep sliding into the corner. Like I said, it's against Kozak's honor to attack a robot sliding. Doing that will lead to an easy victory. And of course, I'm just BSing about Kozak's honor and all that. His daughter Kalinka. Of all of the two Fortress storylines, I think that I like Mega Man 4's the best. Just the idea that Dr. Wily kidnapped his daughter and forced him to attack Mega Man and everything, and then seeing Proto Man rescue Kalinka, and even knowing that Kozak stayed around story-wise was pretty cool. He made Beat in Mega Man 5, and he also upgraded Mega Man's Mega Buster. So it's kind of cool that Dr. Kozak stayed around even after Mega Man 4. I'd actually like to see him in-game some, though, instead of just reading about him in like stories and whatnot. Whatever, though. We are now on Dr. Wily Stage 1. I think I'm going to use Dive Missile throughout a lot of this stage. I like that Proto Man got more involved in the story for Mega Man 5 and its Fortress stages. Mega Man 6 didn't even try. I mean, come on, that disguise for Dr. Wily being Mr. X was not convincing at all. That disguise was not fooling anybody. As much as I love Mega Man 6, of course. But whatever. I really love the music throughout Dr. Wily Stage 1 and Dr. Wily Stage 2. It's a really good soundtrack. And I also like the stage's music for Dr. Wily Stage 3 and 4 later on as well. We'll get to that whenever we get to that, though. Just keep on moving, avoiding the Mets and all their shots and everything. Dive Missile does a really good job taking them out. Here before long we'll be coming up to an underwater section. I would have loved to have given Rush Marine a little bit of screen time, even though he's next to useless since you can use Rush Jet underwater and everything. But still, I always liked Rush Marine. I don't really know why. Like I said, he's pretty much always made obsolete by Rush Jet also being able to be used underwater. But still, I think that he looks cool and he's fun to use in my opinion, just for some reason. I don't know why at all. Like I said, though, I really wish that I could have given a little bit of screen time to Rush Marine, but he's never forced, and therefore it's against the rules. I love the theme of this stage. Mets. They're everywhere. Even the boss of the stage is a Met. I just love the whole idea of dedicating an entire Dr. Wily stage strictly to Mets. It's one of my favorite things about Mega Man 4. The only thing that I think that they could have done to improve on this is have Mets from other games in it. Like maybe the Propeller Mets from Mega Man 3 or the classic Mets from Mega Man 1. Or heck, even have like the little mini bosses from Needleman stage throughout this level. That would have been really cool as well. But what we got is just fine with me. I really do enjoy this stage. It's one of my favorite Fortress stages in the entire classic series, just because it's strictly dedicated to Mets. We're on the final stretch of the stage right now. Like I said, the boss of the stage is also a Met, the Metal Daddy. He's really huge. I'd recommend using either Dust Crusher or Ring Boomerang on him. I've always used Ring Boomerang myself. I don't know why, it's just what I've always preferred, I guess. For the most part, he actually kind of acts like a normal med. He just kind of hangs out inside of his hard hat. Then he'll come out every now and then. He'll jump, and whenever he lands, he'll shake the room, and smaller meds will fall down from the ceiling. Whenever they land, they'll just walk off to the sides of the screen. Really not all that hard, but hey, this boss is awesome just because it's a giant med. That's just cool in my opinion. He only has a few more hits and he'll be down and out. And there he goes. Dr. Wily Stage 1 is now down and out. Coming up here in Dr. Wily Stage 2, we'll be forced to use Rush, and we'll also have a visit from Eddie. Which, there's a little interesting thing that you can do with Drill Bomb and Eddie. I'll show it to y'all whenever we get there. I think I'll use Flash Stopper some throughout this stage. We haven't used it in a little while, and it can be pretty useful for the first little part of this stage here. And here we go. We'll go ahead and get that ready. Slide through this one right here. And down the ladder we go, and we'll be at those red enemies that shoot off their propellers. Just freeze them and down we go. And down we go here. You know, I don't think I have ever once taken the lower route here. It just seems like it'd be a lot more annoying than the top route. I'll have to take that route sometime. Like I said, I've never once taken that route. Gotta use Rush to get over there to that ladder. And up here we have Eddie. One thing that's interesting with the Drill Bomb is that any item that Eddie gives you, if you shoot it with the Drill Bomb will bounce off of the item. I don't know why, it's just kind of an interesting little glitch there. I don't understand why it does that. Coming up here shortly, we'll be seeing the mummies from Pharaoh Man stage, which look kind of funny coming out of walls like this, little fortress walls instead of the pyramid walls. Still though, Dive Missile makes really quick work of them. And up we go. After destroying the bats on this screen, you have to use Rush to get up to one of the two ladders. Taking the left ladder will lead you to the ladder that leads deeper into the stage. For some reason, I don't really know why, I've always taken the right ladder, which leads you to some of these skull enemies. Just what I've always done, don't really know why. Get Rain Flush ready and take out these enemies up here. Just stay on the ladder, and there we go. And up we go. We are now in the final stretch of the stage. I'd recommend just using Drill Bomb to take out these Gumball Machine type enemies. Kills them off in 2 hits. The boss of this stage is kind of weird. It's like a big mask. It shoots bombs out of its forehead and spits fire out of its mouth. Its weak point is on its forehead. It's an obvious weak point. It's like a little gem that you have to shoot. Ring Boomerang does the most damage to it. You have to use those 2 platforms to get up there to reach it. Just wait for good enough timing, and like I said, you just gotta aim for that spot on his forehead. If you're using the Mega Buster, the hitbox might be a little weird, but since Ring Boomerang pierces through armors and whatnot, it makes it really easy to hit the weak point. I'm pretty sure that you can actually just jump onto the platform that the boss is sitting on, just from the bottom floor, and just keep jumping and hitting him that way. But to me, it's funner to stand on the platforms and fight him. But whatever the case, Dr. Wily Stage 2 is now down and out. We are now headed to Dr. Wily Stage 3, which is the boss rematch stage. Love those stages. There will be quite a bit of weapon energy laying around throughout the stage. Be sure to balance out your weapons so that each has just enough to take out the bosses with their weakness. Make sure that Pharaoh Shot has quite a bit of energy because you'll want that for the final battle against Dr. Wily. Also make sure that Drill Bomb is up pretty high and that Dust Crusher is up pretty good and Ring Boomerang. You'll be using all those weapons quite a bit throughout the boss rematches. The music in this stage always sounded like some sort of 8-bit party type music to me. For some reason or another, that's what it always makes me picture in my head, is like some sort of party going on. Kind of weird, but I do like the music quite a bit. We don't have much further to go before we're at the boss rematches. The gate that leads us to the teleporter that takes us to the boss rematches is here on this screen. That shield attacker down there doesn't even pose a threat, so just ignore it. And here we go. Time to enter this teleporter. I think first up we'll take out Toadman, since we already have Drill Bomb equipped and all that. Toadman's as easy as always. Here we go. It's even easier than he was whenever you fought him with Pharaoh Shot or the Mega Buster. Very, very easy boss. Just wait for him to jump over you, slide, shoot him, so on and so forth. Ah, poor old Toadman. Always a pushover. Next up we'll take out Pharaoh Man. Since you can't use the Flash Stopper to kill him, and you can't use the Mega Buster now, the Dust Crusher makes a good replacement. Does 2 damage per shot to him. Rain Flush also does 2 damage per shot, but you don't want to use that because that wouldn't work very well. Plus you need to save all that for Bright Man. So yeah, definitely stick to using Dust Crusher for Pharaoh Man. Next up we'll take out Skull Man. I don't think that we have enough Dust Crusher to take him out completely. Looks like we'll be 1 shot short, but that's okay, because we have plenty of weapon energy in all of our other weapons. Yeah, we definitely don't have enough Dust Crusher to take out Skull Man. That's alright though, we'll just use Ring Boomerang now since it can pierce his skull barrier. Just 1 more hit. There we go, Skull Man is down now. Next up we'll take out Dive Man. I always preferred fighting Dive Man with the Mega Buster over Skull Barrier, because you have to get really close to him with the Skull Barrier. And it's just as easy to destroy his dive missiles with the Mega Buster, but whatever. Fighting him with the Skull Barrier is a nice little change here. There we go, Dive Man is now down and out. Next up we'll take out Bright Man. We'll start off the battle with Pharaoh Shot, because you gotta hit him once to avoid having him use his Rain Flush on you. And there we go, now we'll use Rain Flush. Doesn't look like we'll have enough of that to take out Bright Man completely, but like I said, we got plenty of weapon energy in all of our other weapons, so we'll be okay, I think. Once we're out of Rain Flush, I'll just use Pharaoh Shot to finish him off. We'll just charge up a blast and get him that way. There we go. Next up we'll take out Drill Man. I think that we have more than enough dive missile to take him out. One thing that's interesting about the battle with Drill Man is that if he decides to go underground right where Mega Man is standing right now in front of the little teleporter, you can actually see him sitting there. It's kind of neat. I also like how they decided to give his little rematch room the little rocky terrain. Kind of neat. I always liked Drill Man a lot whenever I was younger. Don't really know why, I just thought that he always looked cool and that he had a really fun fight. Which he does look kind of cool and he does have a fun fight. Next up we'll take out Ring Man. I'm going to try to save as much of Pharaoh Shot as I can. We'll try to get him with the fireball that's above our heads so that we can get an extra shot off. There we go. Just do that one more time and he'll be down and out. There we go. Next up we'll take out Dust Man since he's the last one for us to take out. We'll use up what's left of Dive Missile at the beginning of this fight because I really want to save as much Ring Boomerang as I can, because we'll need it for the first form against Wily. I'm really going to try to pay attention to what he's doing so that I don't accidentally waste any weapon energy because he sucks us in. There we go. We'll use Pharaoh Shot for a little while. We also got to save Drill Bomb for the second form of Wily. We'll just wait for Dust Man to quit sucking us in, and then we'll get him with the charge shot. There we go. I think we can use Ring Boomerang some now. I just really need to pay attention to what he's doing, because I really don't want to waste any weapon energy. Like that. Alright, we really got to pay attention. If we're lucky, we'll have just enough weapon energy to take out the first form of Wily now. There we go. All 8 Robot Masters are down and out, and it's time to fight Wily for the first time. Here we go. The first form is really easy. Just get right next to him and do small hops and get him with Ring Boomerang between fireballs. Really, that's pretty much the only strategy here. Like I said, just get in front of him, do small hops, get him with the ring boomerang. That's really all you have to do. I think we'll have just enough ring boomerang to take him out. And we do. There we go. Drill bomb is his weakness now for the second form. The trick with that is you have to detonate the bombs. You have to remote detonate them right as they get to the weak point. Otherwise they'll bounce off. I never knew that whenever I was a kid. I actually used to fight him with a wire adapter. It would drain a lot of energy tanks out of me. I love how you can actually kill Dr. Wily in this game if you use Rain Flush right as his machine finishes blowing up. You'll kill him off for good. Thing about that is, though, you can't finish off Mega Man 4 if you do that. Still kind of funny, though. You can also freeze him with a Flash Stopper, which is also kind of funny. Whatever the case, we are now getting ready to start Dr. Wily's Stage 4, the last stage of the game, which is a really short one, as to be expected. We got plenty of energy and Flash Stopper. We'll just use that throughout this stage. Probably going to waste weapon energy just because I can. No real reason not to. We have more than enough of it to last us throughout the entire stage. The little rocks inside of the case has always reminded me of the little Snack Cakes Star Crunch. I don't know why, just the way how it looks reminded me of those Star Crunch snacks. Time for the final battle against Dr. Wily. Pharaoh Shot is the way to go. If Pharaoh Shot isn't doing too good on weapon energy, then I'd recommend using whatever weapon energy you have in the rest of your weapons on farming off the Imorms in the hallway right before the boss gate here. Try to get as much weapon energy and Pharaoh Shot as you can, and then start the battle. I really like the final battle music in this game. It's really epic sounding. It gets me really pumped to fight Wily. He's just about down and out. I love how he just flies way up into the air after his saucer gets destroyed. With Dr. Wily down and out, it's now time to check out the ending and whatnot. He sets off the self-destruct and everything, but how does he does it? Does he do it remotely with his eyebrows? Because I don't see him flip a switch, but then again, I guess there might be one behind that door. Still, though. Kind of like the way how the overworld looks here. I like how they have the little train tracks in the lower left. Makes sense for how Mega Man rides a train home, I suppose. Seeing Wily escape and everything. I like how you also see Mega Man teleport out. Cracks me up how the little mushroom cloud has to be in the shape of a skull. Kinda cool looking, I suppose. I really like the music that plays as Mega Man rides on the train back home and everything, and the change of scenery here and there is really cool as well. As far as Mega Man 4's weapon set is concerned, I really like this weapon set. It's very, very useful. In my opinion, it's probably the second or third best weapon set in the entire classic series. I feel like the weapon set for Mega Man and Bass really fights for that number 2 spot. If I had to pick, though, I would definitely say Mega Man 4 has the second best weapon set overall. Although, like I said, Mega Man and Bass's weapon set does really fight for that number 2 spot in my opinion. All the weapons have something really good going for them. Like Ring Boomerang, even though it doesn't have as much range as all the other weapons, it's multiple hitting and it pierces armors, including Skullman's Skull Barrier, so that's really good about it. Dive Missile, while it's a little bit retarded at times, it's still a pretty good homing missile. It's pretty powerful in a lot of situations. It's pretty fast moving, so even though it can go off course sometimes, it can still catch up to the enemy pretty quickly. Skull Barrier, while it's not really the best shield in the entire classic series or anything, in this particular game, it's a very, very good shield. There are many, many areas where Skull Barrier is a very good choice of a weapon. Flash Stopper is a really good weapon. I mean, come on, who wouldn't like that? Freezing time and then destroying them with your Mega Buster? Really good. And the fact that it doesn't drain all of your weapon energy is also really nice. I like how Roll and Rush greet you at the end of the train ride. It's one of my favorite things about the little ending and whatnot. I also like the remix of the Mega Man 2 title theme here. Dust Crusher is a really good weapon because it can hit enemies multiple times, and any enemies that happen to be in the way of the fragments after it splits up can also be hit, so that's good. Drill Bomb is a good weapon because it's really powerful, and I love how it can be remote detonated. On top of that, it can destroy barriers, so that's another good thing about it. Plus, it doesn't use up hardly any weapon energy. Rain Flush is one of the best full-screen attacking weapons. Not only does it attack everything on the current screen that you're on, but if you keep moving and sliding and whatnot, it can also hit enemies further into the area that you're in. Plus, on top of all that, it ignores all defenses. Drillman, whenever he's under the ground, no problem, you can hit him with Rain Flush. Dustman sucking you in, no problem, you can hit him with Rain Flush. Just stuff like that. You can kill Mets while they're in their helmet. Rain Flush is just one of the best full-screen attacking weapons, in my opinion. And Pharaoh Shot is just one of the best weapons in the entire Classic series. You can shoot it in every direction except for straight up and down. It's chargeable. You can get 2 charged shots off within like 1 second time if an enemy takes away the fireball above your head. It doesn't use up much weapon energy, and it's really powerful. It's good for just about any boss because you can take out 6 bars of their health really quickly if they destroy the fireball above your head. So overall, Pharaoh Shot is a very great weapon, as are all the weapons in Mega Man 4. This run was really fun to do. I love using all the weapons in any Mega Man game. The Fortress stages really weren't all that hard because there's so much weapon energy laying around, but it was still a really fun run to do. And well, this concludes our Robot Master Weapons only run of Mega Man 4 for the NES. I hope you all enjoyed watching it, and you all know the drill. Comment, subscribe, and all that. Thank you for watching.